All right, so let's look at some different ways that we might use ChatGPT in math. Now, as I said in the newsletter, it's not that great for math. I'll show you this brain teaser that I was working on towards the end, where I had to really kind of argue with it to get it to understand. But that's a good thing for our students to be able to do as well. So, for example, let's say I gave it this prompt up here, saying I wanted some budgets for four different families, and I gave it some different criterias that they're married, having their first child right here, and some different scenarios right here. And I could ask ChatGPT to be more specific with this, such as to put it in a spreadsheet format with different columns and things like that. But it's kind of taking some information regarding the um, average cost of living and things like that and putting the expenses right here. And what's really interesting is the financial goals and suggested budget. Now, that's something that we can debate, right? Like they're saying, focus on paying off their student loans and building an emergency fund, which is probably wise, especially with student loans. But we go back here um, as we're looking at this, they're saying the first thing is to focus on paying down their mortgage, which we could debate on whether that's the best thing or not. So we can kind of get some of that information and then continue to have our students debate on what they should do with that money. Now, another one right here, I did this just for weather data, where I put in some cities and just wanted some data in this format right here and having the average high and average low of those dates. And, we can look at these different problems right here or these different sets of data and determine, okay, what are the trends? What are why is this so similar to what the average is? And we could talk about weather patterns and things like that and the order that God has created. Now, another one is maybe I want to just compare demographics. So I might get some things from our local city and maybe a larger city and try and compare some of these demographics as well. And obviously, we've got to figure out how they get it. They don't have direct access to that government, that US Census data, but there are sources that provide some of that information out there. Another example right here, just thinking about generating word problems. So I did one right here where um, wanted an open-ended word problem involving trigonometry for high school geometry students. So there's this one about camping and using the Pythagorean theorem right here and the inverse tangent. And it's like, well, why would anyone want to do that, right? Like, why would anyone want to set their stuff in a perfect rectangular field with sides that have this length? And so, kind of gave me some information right here. Probably not something that I would do because I'm not really a camper, but maybe there is a good use case for that. Then just asking for a word problem. That would be more of a teenager problem, height of a hill. Yeah, all right. Went down with fifth grade, asked about something involving unit rates. And what's nice is I could put stuff about my students in these problems. So I can put, names of my students and things that they're interested uh, in here. And so it makes the story problem more about them. So there's quite a big one right here that has um, kind of one answer, but it could continue on and incorporate discussion. And finally, just doing things with brain teasers. This was one that I was really, trying to struggle with because I had gotten a few good ones. And this one, I kind of went through and started giving me the solution. And it said 3.5 is not less than 10. And I was like, what? And so it gave me the solution as one. And it said it's not true, but said, at least we're thinking. And so I'm trying to figure out how this makes sense. And they keep going and they're still saying it's 1. And so I'm correcting mistakes right here. And as it continues to work, I'm finding some more mistakes and correcting them as well. And then finally, I say that, like this is the right answer. So while during that problem, the AI was not correct, I had to think about why is it making these mistakes and how can I correct it? What really is the right answer? So that's thinking about math in a different way. We're not just trying to have the problem and find the right answer. We're thinking about someone else's work and thinking about where they went wrong. So some good ways that you can use math with ChatGPT.